Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the college basketball slate on Thursday, December 17th. Only a 4-game slate. We got some big real life college games like Kansas and Texas Tech, two ranked teams playing against each other. So we're going to get into all of that. But before I do, if you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me grow. I've had a lot of growth really throughout the entire week doing college basketball. I mean, I've had a lot of growth since I started doing this, so we want to continue to do that. If you want to get the spreadsheet and my projections for only $5 a month, I'll put the link in the description below. Every single day, you're going to get my spreadsheet of all the stats you need to know along with projections. So I'll be posting that right after I'm done recording this video, actually. So for the ones that are subscribed to that, it'll be up there soon. And if you want to get that, I'll put that down below as well as all my social medias. You can go follow me on Twitter or Instagram. I like to talk about sports over there. So I think that's really all I got to say on that. Let's get into the video where we are going to start with Jalen Wilson at Kansas. All right, to be honest, I really hate every single player on Kansas today. None of them project that well at all for me. Texas Tech's a really good defensive team. It's a huge pace down spot. They're projected to score a lot less points than we usually see for Kansas. The total on this game is 133.5, and that's 11 points less than the next highest total game. So this is not a game I really want to attack that much, and I think a lot of people are going to attack it because it's just these are the two big teams, the two big names. I mean, all the big names at Kansas, Mac McClung at Texas Tech, he's on the cover. The only reason I really put him on there is because he is the biggest name that I actually kind of like today, and so I put him on there, to get clicks. But I'm not really that interested in this game that much. And Jalen Wilson, the only reason I put him on here is because he's the highest usage player on Kansas. He has a usage rate 25.6. I have him projected for 33 minutes today, but I really don't want to play him. I don't think I'm going to get literally anybody from Kansas in lineups today. This game just does not project as a really good game to target on Draftkings today. And then Mac McClung and Kyler Edwards, those are the two guys on Texas Tech that I'm kind of interested in. They're the two best players. I have McClung projected for 37 minutes and Kyler Edwards projected for 40 minutes. They're both about a point per minute producers. Mac McClung has a usage rate 25.2 and an assist rate 24.5. Edwards has a usage rate 19.6 and an assist rate of 24.3. This is actually going to be a pace-up spot for Texas Tech, though that is the one thing. I mean, Texas Tech plays at a slow pace. They're getting a nice little bump in pace. Actually, I think it might be the biggest pace-up spot on the day. So if there was a side I was going to attack from for this game, it would be the Texas Tech side. These are the only two guys I really want to get to. None of the value looks really all that great on either one of these teams. But yeah, I mean, I have to talk about them a little bit. Not going to be as interested in these guys, to be honest, as I am in the rest of these other three games. But I do have to talk about them a little bit. So Kyler Edwards and Mac McClung are the two guys on Texas Tech, and then Jalen Wilson on Kansas. Now we're going to go to Creighton as they face St. John's today. This game has a total of 158.5. This is the highest total game on the slate. Creighton has the highest implied team total as well at 83.1. This is going to be a pace-up spot for Creighton as well by four whole possessions. Pace-up spot for Creighton. Marcus Zagorowski is, I guess, their best player. I mean, he was the best player coming into the season, but Denzel Mahoney's really popped off this year. I have Marcus Zagorowski projected for 34 minutes. He's a 1 point per minute producer. Usage rate 25.7, assist rate 29.4. He's one of the best players in the country. He's a great play. I definitely want to get some exposure to him. Christian Bishop is going to be my favorite play on the slate today at $6,100. I have him projected for 30 minutes. He may only get 27 to 30, but that's still going to smash for him. He has a 1.5 fantasy point per minute. That's one of the highest out of all players in college basketball so far this year. His usage rate 25.6. It's going to be a pace-up spot, and he's only $6,100. He's just way too cheap. I think he's a great play. I'm going to lock him in pretty much start. If I'm making one lineup, this first player I'm putting in is Christian Bishop today. I just think he's a really good value. Seems way too cheap. He's going to play a lot of minutes, and he's a high producer. Damian Jefferson at $6,400. I'm also interested on Creighton, just another guy that I like. I have him projected for 34 minutes. He's a 0.86 point per minute producer. He only has usage rate at 18, assist rate at 13.3, but the pace of spot does make him look nice. Just another guy to get in some lineups if you're playing a ton of lineups. If I'm only playing one, I probably don't get any Damian Jefferson. I'd rather just pay $300 less for Christian Bishop. But if I'm playing a ton of lineups, I'm probably going to get some exposure to him. He's a pretty good player. He's going to play a lot of minutes in a good spot. Then Denzel Mahoney's been kind of the breakout guy for Creighton this year. I mean, he's just been playing really well. He's the $7,800, the most expensive player on Creighton now. I have him projected for 33 minutes. He's a 1.07 fantasy point per minute producer. Has a usage rate of 22.4 and an assist rate of 14.7, which is pretty good. But he's just been so good for his team. I like getting to him. I just like getting the guys on Creighton today. I like that high total game. Pace-up spot for them as well, so they all do look pretty good for me. Now we're going to go to Seton Hall as they play Marquette today. The only two guys I'm really interested in on this team are the two best players, Jared Rhoden and Sandru Mamakaloshvili. This is going to be a slight pace down spot for Seton Hall, but nothing really to worry about that much. Seton Hall is an implied total of 70, and the line is set at 144.5. Pretty solid line. It's better than that Kansas-Texas Tech game, so I'm interested in that. There's just really no good value on Seton Hall. There's really not a lot of good value on this slate, to be honest. There is some we're going to get into in a minute, but $8,300 for Sandro. I've projected 39 minutes. He's a 1.2 point per minute producer with a usage rate of 27.8 and an assist rate of 17.6. Jared Roden, I have projected for 34 minutes. He has a fantasy point per minute of 1.04, a usage rate of 23, and an assist rate of 11, and a rebound rate of 12.7. So they're both productive players. They're both going to play a lot of minutes. I prefer probably going to Roden just because he's a little cheaper. I mean, Sandro is $8,300. That's pretty expensive, but he is worth it. Like, he's one of the best players in college basketball this year, especially on a fantasy point per minute basis. So he's definitely someone I want to get some exposure to. Both these guys I'm going to have in my lineups. They both look like good plays. Now we're going to go to St. John's as they face Creighton today. St. John's has an implied total of 76.7, which is the second highest on the slate behind Creighton, who they're playing, 158 game total. This is where we're going to start to get some value. I mean, not Julian Champagne. I don't know how you say his last name. It's like Champagne with an I. I don't know, whatever. Julian, we're going to call him Julian. Then Posh Alexander and Vince Cole, those are the other two guys I'm interested in. They're the two value guys. So Vince Cole, I have him projected for 31 minutes. He's a 0.84 point per minute producer, has a usage rate of 21.3. It's just pretty good. And then Posh Alexander, $5,600. I have him projected for 32 minutes, 0.89 point per minute producer, usage rate of 17, assist rate of 22.6. They're just going to play a lot of minutes in a high total game, and they're just good values in my opinion, so I definitely want to get some exposure to him. And then Julian's $9,100. He's really good. He's their best player. I have him projected for 33 minutes. He's a 1.36 point per minute producer, has a usage rate of 29.5 and a rebound rate of 13.5. He's really good. He's their best player. At $9,100, he feels like a pretty good spot in a high total game. So definitely going to be someone I want to get some exposure to, although he is pricey and the value isn't great on this slate, but you can still fit him in. He's not like 10K like we've seen Ayo Dosunmu at before, so he's definitely someone that I'm fine going to. Now we got Marquette, which is going to be my favorite team for today. These guys all project out really nicely for me. It's going to be a slight pace-up spot for them, but the total on this game is just a lot more than we've seen them scoring, and they're all just good values. I mean, these guys are just too cheap for what they play. I mean, let's start with Kobe McEwen. I have him projected for 38 minutes, and he's only $5,700. He may not get 38, but he's going to get in the 30s. He's going to get 35 to 38 minutes this game. He's a 0.96 point per minute producer. It's not like he's out there just doing nothing. Usage rate 22.6 and assist rate 21.5. It's just too easy. I mean, it's just like you kind of lock and play that guy. Same thing with DJ Carton. He's $6,400. He's a little more expensive. I have him projected for 34 minutes. He's a 0.93 point per minute producer with a usage rate of 23.6 and assist rate 24.1. He's their starting point guard. Really good. Too cheap for his upside that he brings. Justin Lewis at $4,800 I think is a very, very good value on the slate. I'm projected for 25 minutes. He's a 1.3 point per minute producer with usage rate 23.7, and he is coming off a 31-minute game. I didn't give him 31 minutes because he hasn't done it all year, so I'm not really sure if he's actually going to get that type of minutes. But if he gets in the 30s again at 4,800, he might actually be the best player in the slate. Like I said, it was Christian Bishop earlier, but Justin Lewis is coming pretty close. He grades out really, really well for me. He's another guy which is probably lock and play. Same with Kobe McEwen. I think those three guys, those two, and then Bishop, I would just lock in before I make my lineup. I think all of them are very, very good plays. Theo Johnson, another guy I really like at Marquette, 5,700, 27 minutes. He's a 1.07 point per minute producer. It looks good. As well as Dawson Garcia, 6,600. He's not going to play as much minutes. He doesn't really get up into the 30s too often, but he's still a good play and a good matchup. Last game of the day is, well, actually that's the last game of the day, the Seton Hall Marquette game. But last game we're going to talk about is Oregon and San Francisco. This game has a 7.5 total spread. It's not, Oregon isn't projected to win by that much. The game total is 144. San Francisco has an implied team total of 67.4, and Oregon has an implied team total of 74.9. So pretty good numbers for Oregon, but for San Francisco, maybe not as much. But there's some interesting value. You got Josh Coonan at $4,200. I've projected for 29 minutes. He's only a 0.65 point per minute producer, but at 29 minutes of 4,200, we really need some value. If he can just knock down more shots than normal, then I think we'll be okay there. Dmitry Ryuni, I think I said that name right. We're going to go with that. $5,900. I've projected for 34 minutes. He's a 0.94 fantasy point per minute producer, has a usage rate of 18, and a rebound rate of 13.9, which is pretty nice. $5,900 for 34 minutes. That's a pretty nice value that I want to get to. And then Tavi Jerkatam, hopefully I said that right. I'm going to call him Tavi. $4,900. I'm projected for 31 minutes. He's a .621 point per minute producer and usage rate of 15.2 and assist rate at 12.8. These guys are just some values that we need to fill out lineups. Nothing. I don't expect a lot from these guys, but they are pretty nice values. That if you want to if you're playing a ton of lineups, I would like to get some of them in there. And then the two guys in Oregon I'm interested in are LJ Figueroa and Eric Williams Jr. LJ Figueroa is 5,800. He's coming off a 29-minute game. I've been projected for that again. A .76 point per minute producer. If you don't remember LJ Figueroa, he played at St. John's last year, was their best player. Came over as a transfer. He started out on the bench, but I think by the end of the year he'll probably be a starter. So he's a pretty good play in my opinion at $5,800. I could see more increased minutes for him as we see the season go along and an increased salary. So I kind of want to get him while he's kind of cheap. So I think he's a pretty solid option. And Eric Williams Jr. at $7,600. I have him projected for 35 minutes. He's a .91 fantasy point per minute producer with a usage rate of 19.5 and a rebound rate of 13.5. Just looks like another solid play and a pretty good matchup. I think that's really all I got to say for this video. Only 4 games today, so not a ton of players to get into. There's gonna be a lot of chalk today, but that's what happens on 4-game basketball slates. So thank you guys so much for checking this out. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe on this video, or like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want the spreadsheet, links down below. Go check that out. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and make some money.